Welcome to How to Decorate from Ballard Designs, a weekly podcast all about the trials and triumphs of decorating and redecorating your home. I'm Caroline. I'm on the marketing team.
And I'm Taryn, and I'm a product designer.
I'm Liz. I head up the creative team.
We're your hosts. Join the expert team at Ballard Designs for tips, tricks, and tales from interior designers, stylists, and other talents in the design world.
Plus, we'll answer your decorating dilemmas at the end of each episode.
We love answering your questions, so don't forget to email us at podcast@ballarddesigns.net.
Now, on with the show.
Ladies, we have not done trials and triumphs in a hot minute, so that is what we are here to do. And who wants to go first? Not it.
What a good start. Also, not it. I'll start.
No, I'm okay.
I'll start. I wrote mine
Right.
down in advance. You're all welcome. I'm just kidding.
Mhm.
I was prepared this time. Some things I've been doing recently. So I think I talked about how I redid my younger son's room and put in 2 twin beds. Finally got his crib out. He is way into 4. Should have happened earlier, but it didn't. So I had put the trim on the bed, on the actual duvets. And so I had just these white, very basic bed skirts. And my mom had actually purchased me 2 creamy bed skirts from Ollie's at some point for like $2 each. Something she just likes to shop, and she was like, "Oh, I'm here," and I was like, "Sure. If I put these to Goodwill, it will be fine." So
Yes.
I was like, "I don't think these match the actual duvet, but I'm just gonna get them and see." So my mom got me these. I had these white ones on the bed, so I had these 2 different sets of bed skirts. So I had decided a while ago, I was like, I'm gonna dye them. I think I'm just gonna try dyeing them because
This is your classic move.
it is a I know. I always talk about my RIT dyeing, and it's either a fail or half the time it's a fail, half the time it's a win. So
I think your odds are better than that.
thank you. I
Towards win, I mean. Yeah.
Thanks. So I'm like, all right, do I dye the white ones that are very cheap, like super cheap material, or do I try dyeing these like off-white ones, which because the base is off-white, even the dye, when I'm making it, it's going to absorb and look different because it's on a creamy base fabric.
Right.
But they were a nicer, heavier weight. So the creamy ones. So I'm like, all right, I think I'm just going to dye both and see what happens. Like, see which one looks better. Because in both cases, my investment was, I'm up to $30 plus, I don't know, $15 for 2 bottles of dye to make the tone of blue to match the wainscoting. And that also complements the wallpaper in this bedroom. So I kind of figure out the blue I want to kind of go with. I put it in the big hot boiling thing of water outside in some bucket. And then I do the dips of paper towel. And this is all on their website, RIT Dye. So I'm just following suit. And then I'm like, it's too blue. It's too, it's not dark enough. It doesn't need to be lighter. I'm playing this game. And I dye both sets. I just decide to do it. So I do one set first, then I do the second set. And of course, the white ended up coming out like baby blue, like this soft, weird blue that was not good. And then the creamy one ended up being too light of shade, but it was the correct shade of this it goes teal. This blue goes teal in his room. It has this hint of green in it. It's definitely a greeny blue. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try again. I'm going to dye it 2 times. So I did the whole wash and see how it came out. And because of the amount of fabric I was putting in, parts were still it almost looked tie-dye, not the actual solid. And I didn't do it in the machine. You can do it in your washing machine. But for me, I'm like, is it going to get stuck in there? I don't know. I did it in the bucket again. So I did it in the bucket again, and this time I did it 1 bed skirt at a time, and I got it more evened out. The dye was much more even, and I was like, perfect. So I washed them and dried them and I ironed them, and I was like, let's see how it looks. And it is perfect because now that the bed skirts match the wall, you don't see them. And that's exactly what I wanted in this case. I didn't want your eye to see it, but I also just wanted to keep the metal rails, and I'm not redoing the headboard or anything like that right now. So I'm kind of just sticking with the wooden headboards because I owned those already, and I love them. They're a little too short for the space, but I'm making it work as
Yeah.
we teach everyone. And it matches my blue Ballard gourd lamp too. So it's like right in the same shades. And anyway, so I was really proud of myself. So that was definitely a triumph for
Definitely. You're so resourceful. I
That
always
is so great.
Yeah. Love your
Thank you.
dyeing stories because I've never tried it, but I've always wanted to try it, but I'm too nervous.
I respect your nervousness because you do like, it's one of those things that like, if you splash anything around, you've like put dye on it. So you're like wearing all black. I'm doing it outside. I've got gloves. I've got paper towels and newspapers down. Try not to even dye the like the cement because I don't want to do it in the grass because there's no grass in it. So it's like this whole like, where do you do it? How do you do it? But it turned out and it was so worth it because it's exactly what I needed in there because I couldn't do another pattern because there's a gingham on the bedspread, the wallpaper. So it's like it didn't need there was no more pattern needed. So it needed to be a solid. And I think it was the perfect. It's great. And I didn't have to like have ones custom made. So it just worked out.
Yeah.
So it was worth it.
Yeah.
Because had it been a loss, it would have been $30 and I could have just been shopping around for the right blue, but it's perfect. Other things I worked on, about this time last year was trying to finish my mural in my dining room. And then I fully lost steam and shoved things against the wall, called it a day. So I did spend some time recently finishing up some of the elements and I was very proud of myself. I'd still say there's some areas I'd like to finish connecting over the doorway, just some of the rows kind of intertwined above the arch that I wanted to do, but that required the bigger ladder. And anyway, but anything else, I finished out some birds on the wall, added some flowers to the ground and stuff. So that was kind of a fun. So now it just feels a little more finished in there to me. So that was another triumph that I was very proud of.
It looks so good. Are you just not so proud of yourself? I would think that every time you walk by that room, you're like, oh my God, I did that. Right?
I weirdly am at like, am I over this? Does that make sense? Yeah, I know. It's like I finished it and then I was like, am I over this yet? But I think the color combo that I went with, I'm still in love with the bright yellow and the soft lavender. And I know right now it's like, I feel like those colors have fully submerged the market and we're just getting past it, So it's a little bit of this dream come true, but now it's here. And then I'm like, do I still love it? But I do. I think I enjoy painting is also why I said like, instead of it feeling like like wash your hands of it, I'm like, oh, is there more to be done? Or do I need to dabble?
There's more to be done. I mean, there are more little birds and butterflies and things that can pop in here whenever you feel like it, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, the later elements I have liked more. And so even the trees in there, some of them that were my initial ones, I'm like, these need a lot more branches and leaves. So to your point, I'm not done, but I've been working on that, I should say. So
I always feel like I get such a like you had a vision.
Oh,
and you made it happen. Like, that's
right.
Yes.
Really cool.
Yes. I still don't have, again, the cushions made in there. And I do think I need that element to finally like truthfully feel like, and art. There's art I need on one of the walls. I didn't finish the mural there knowing I'd kind of put something on top of it. And my husband said he's does dabble and stuff, and I kind of gave him direction, and we're just playing to see while we're like also looking for something because it's really got to complement. My table is black and so stark, and everything else is like these weird light colors. But then the yellow and the black are these really hard colors. It's weird. My dining room's weird, but like I love it. It's just I think it goes together when you're in there. But it's one of those things where I feel like the art needs like some black to it. Like it needs some heaviness to make you look up there, but it needs to not be so light that you're looking at the painting on the wall, the walls themselves.
What about
are
a black
art.
frame?
A black frame would probably really help in there because then you'd at least like the art would be separate from the wall mural, which is art in itself.
Right.
So I've been looking at a lot of, again, Gracie and Desgournay wallpapered dining rooms just to see how other designers have like kind of handled the art in the space. And, art is so personal. So we'll see what I end up like doing in there. But I want something a little more modern because my walls are so like feminine, girly, whimsy that I'm like, I need something a little more.
A little bit harder, a little bit like stronger.
Like what genre are you thinking? Like
well, I have the big bright yellow
graphic
abstract. So I already have a abstract. So I don't think I need another abstract. So it does need to be, I think, graphic, but not whimsy, not too abstract all at the same time. So it's kind of, I don't know. I've been thinking more of sort of a still life, like in my mind, like some kind of funny dining, like kind of playing off the fact that this is a dining room is like something in that.
I love that. Yeah,
I love that.
That's what I'm looking for. And I kind of I'm brainstorming. So anyway, those are two other things in there but yes. And then I will feel, it does feel good to cross off rooms. Like my son's room, he still needs art in there, but like the actual twins and beds and side table is, we did the burl wood side table in there to kind of complement the darker woods and some rattan in there to get in that kind of mix. So I'm feeling pretty good about how that turned out. And it does. It feels so good to kind of sort of check off a room in a way, like you said, your vision.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So my only trial that I was even going to mention is my house has been here now for 4 years in the elements, and I feel like it.
Wait, okay, I'm sorry.
Really?
I'm like, I can't believe it. You've been moved in for 4 years?
Yeah. 21.
Wow. That's crazy.
I know.
Wow. I'm sorry. I know that's like the most cliche thing ever to be like, oh my gosh, time flies.
I think I moved. Wow. Maybe I moved. Wait. Yeah. This is our third summer here, I think. So I think the house has been around. So the point of my story, it's been about 4 years of this house standing and being finished. And obviously still tons to do because I'm in your same boat where I'm like, how do I not have drapery in my living room? As somebody who preaches that everyone needs it, and it's been 4 years, Taryn,
right?
Like it's things like that. But my point was, there's a lot of things that have settled now, and we've hit that. And so I was just letting anyone else know I've hit the window where, like, the cabinetry where it was all connected perfectly has now, like, everything's settled a little. The stairs treads have settled a little. And it's things that you would walk into my home and I'm sure never notice, but like as the homeowner. And something that is driving me nuts is all the white columns outside the wood has started to rot, like because it was wood that has been attached to an outside surface that, like moisture gets in. And so like some of these like decorative elements have already started to like rot and need to either be painted or replaced with new pieces and then painted. And obviously that's like, it just feels like I got to go to the store and get the pieces, cut them, paint them. That sounds like a whole weekend, but I'm sure it wouldn't be in reality, but So that was my I felt like I needed to tell everyone so they knew I'm already there. I'm already at all right, we need to fix this stuff. How are we already at fixing? And the stones have settled, so now not everything's perfectly even outside in the stonework. You're starting to get, so anyway.
Well, it's so funny you say that because I have a friend who, like her and her husband always have a debate about, like they wanted to buy a new house and she's like, no, I want to renovate our current house. And he's like, no, I want a new house that like I don't have to be constantly updating. And I'm like, dude, every house you're going to have
it's
to
just house.
That's just how it is. So if you want a new house, get a new house, but it's not like it's going to be free of maintenance.
No.
So anyway,
we've had these crazy storms at least in the Southeast, and I think across the country, everyone's had crazy summer storms. And one of them, I was working here, and all of a sudden, I was like, the rain was coming in sideways. Have you had one of these storms at your houses? Yeah. It is coming, like everything is all of a sudden just blowing sideways. And you're like, this storm is insanely intense. And it's only like 10 minutes, but super intense. So I kind of got nervous and I was like, I'm going to kind of go towards the interior of my house. Cause like I was watching the trees and I was kind of like, I'm just going to go towards the center. And I ended up in one of my son's rooms and I heard this like, dit, dit. And I'm like, what is that noise? And it was from the ceiling. And I'm like, that has to be a drip. No. Where you're like, that has to be a drip.
No, yeah.
And David wasn't home that day. So I climb up into the attic and like go across all the beams and I like get to the spot and I see it is dripping and I can't find from where. But like it's a perfect story of like there wasn't other water damage there. So it's not like a constant leak when it rains, but this sideways rain somehow I think it like did it shift some of the like roofing,
some of the shingles,
the shingles, or how did this happen? But I like couldn't lift anyway, I put a towel up there and I was like, David, this happened. It was only like 10 minutes, but yeah, so brand new house, and that happened.
Yeah,
so you can't win. I think a house is just a lot of love, and a lot of maintenance.
Yeah. Constant. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm done. 15 minutes in, I'm done.
Okay. No, that's perfect. We each get about a 15-minute. That's the perfect length.
That's great. Okay, so I'll go next. So I think I have trials today. And
I like it.
And lots of good positive learnings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, I love that spin. Good job. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some takeaways. So I decided to not wait for my husband to renovate a room in our basement. So our basement is really just storage. I use part of it as a little greenhouse in the winter. I use a little bit as a holding area for stuff and an art studio. And then we have one little room that you first walk into that's really just kind of our shed, right? So that's where we keep like lawnmowers and tools and bikes and things like that. And it was getting really crazy. So I hired a contractor to come in and we cleaned out that whole area.
Mm.
And so just so everybody kind of understands the state of this room, like it's probably about 19 feet wide. And so it's a good width, but then it's only about, I'd say like 8 feet deep. So it's a good sized room to keep all this stuff in. All of the walls were not finished, and so it's brick of the house and then this kind of add-on, and wood was rotting. The floor seeps water. There was one wall that was all brick that was covered with floor linoleum. So like there was demo that needed to happen, and then putting in new beams and the door to the basement was rotting out at the base and at the frame. So like termite damage, the whole shebang. So I had a contractor come in and I walked her through the house. I walked her through the basement because I have other projects too, right? So here's my first learning is I got really super excited and I started talking about like, oh, and there's this project over here and there's this project over here and there's this project over here. And then I want to do this to the basement, but eventually I want to do that to the basement. So in my mind, I was talking about all of these different things. And in her mind, she was hearing, okay, paint the dining room, fix the basement, got the basement, great, one room done. And our level of expectations were totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there were some challenges throughout that. So I hired the contractor and her team to come in, and they gutted the basement, and they also painted my dining room. So that's a totally separate thing. So we'll talk about that one too, because that's a trial. But but the level of expectations were so different because I had mentioned a whole bunch of like I wanted to have water run down from the laundry room above the basement room to the basement and to outdoors. But that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to have the floors kind of just sealed because they're up against dirt. They're going to seep in some moisture. My house is almost 100 years old.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. That wasn't done. So I reset my expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of had to level set
that wasn't done and you thought it was going to be, or you like pulled that off of your list because the list was getting too big?
Did you make a list?
See, there's my problem.
Root of the problem.
That was the right question.
The root of the problem is that I did a walkthrough with the contractor and we talked about a bunch of things. She did not provide a written estimate. So there was nothing written that could say like, this is what I'm paying for. This is what my expectations are. So my biggest learning is
we have a podcast on this.
I know, right? Shouldn't I know?
Mine wasn't renovations. So to be fair. Continue. So your learnings are.
I mean, seriously, like I feel like we've talked about this so many times that I went in there just like feeling like I knew what I was doing, and no, did not know what I was doing. Also didn't have a clear understanding of what her time frame was, because she thought she was going to get all of this done within a day.
Oh.
Painting the dining room, gutting the basement, and putting up new beams and boards in the basement. I could tell you that's not going to be one day. I mean, she did have
people?
A little, between 3 people.
That's
right.
It was 3 people. Like
I just said I couldn't get
one day is
2 columns replaced pieces in a day. I'm like, that can't be
right.
done.
3 people in the basement maybe would have been a day, but like maybe because they knew what they were doing.
With like pipes and stuff too, based on what you just said.
But we ended up not doing we ended up not doing that. We ended up not doing the water, so I'll have to do that in another phase. And the flooring I'll have to do in another phase, and I'll probably do that myself. But so my big takeaway from the basement is to write down all of the expectations, and I'm sure interior designers have all of this, but I don't. And so I'm making a form for myself. If you all need it, let me know.
All right, what's on this form?
Yeah,
what's on this form from your learnings?
Okay, so what's on my form is listing the project and the dates, a space for like drawing out your sketches, bullet points for all the things you expect to get done, and like signing off on those things. Putting any finishes, wallpaper colors, things like that. So you have that as notes. Estimated costs for labor and materials, and then who's buying those materials.
Yeah,
because that was a thing too. So, are you buying the materials, or is the contractor buying the materials and you're reimbursing them with receipts? And then a timeline, just a basic, like, when are you plan on starting and when do you plan on finishing?
Yeah.
And then, and I mean, I know this. I've had my own business before. Like, you have everybody sign it off and you're good. And there's no drama. I really did my best to keep drama down, but I did just about lose it when they started installing the new door, and it's a odd size, and they had to buy a door and the door frame and then trim it down to size. And the door that they bought swung the wrong way. And I was like, no, it should have swung the same way that the door swung.
Yeah, like in.
Or whatever way it was.
But exterior doors always swing in.
It swung in, but
it opened,
but like
open right,
the placement of the door handle was on the right side, and so you would open it, and it would swing to the left.
Which I'm sure in this small space was an issue.
In this small space was a very big issue, especially because we're taking bikes in and out of there.
And a door's 36 inches wide approximately. So that's 3 feet of your 8 feet that's like sticking in there.
The whole flow of the room would have been different. So I brought it down a few notches. I walked away. We came back. We figured it out, and they were able to reverse the door. But yeah. So it was a very challenging, long weekend.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. But the room looks great, functions great now. It's not creepy to go in there. You're not going to get attacked by spiders, on your first step. It's all great.
That part's
And
great. Yeah.
yeah. And so the function of this room where it holds our lawn equipment, it holds our bikes, and it holds our outdoor cushions. So
Mhm.
all of those things are very easily accessible. It's organized. It's great. It's great. It really turned out great. So it's very simple, just plywood boards all around the whole thing. And yeah, it's really nice and it functions. It's a basement. Everybody, don't go
Yeah.
crazy. But I do want to talk about my dining room too.
Yeah. Oh gosh,
Okay.
you said that was a trial.
I know. I don't like
Yeah.
that part.
No, I mean, okay. It's all going to be okay. So I picked a paint color this winter and I was so super excited. I didn't want the front rooms of my house, the living room into the dining room into the kitchen to be too dramatically different,
Mhm.
right? So I picked, right now they're all white, Sherwin-Williams Greek Villa. And I wanted to paint the dining room something a little bit different, but not too different. So it wasn't a jarring, and I also just don't want to have and now you are entering the green room and now you are entering the blue
Yeah.
room or the purple room.
Right. You
I
want
didn't
some
want to
cohesion.
I don't want to be so color blocked. So I picked a really beautiful color
What's it
called
called?
Ancient Marble by Sherwin-Williams. And it's a really kind of lovely, soft gray green. Really, really pretty. Okay. So the painters came in. That they finished, in a few hours. It was great. I cleared out the rooms of all the furniture. They wham bam got
And
it
you
done.
have all the wood trim, right? The traditional.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Wonderful.
I have very dark, large molding in that room. And so it looked really great. And it looked like there was a difference between the white and the green. There was a value difference. It was great. Once the whole room was done, and this is now like the spring, summertime. Granted, I picked this color in the winter. What happens in my house is the green of all of the trees that surround my house bounces that green light into the rooms. So when that green light bounces into the rooms that have the Greek villa, I'll tell you what, Greek villa looks a whole lot like Ancient Marble. They look exactly alike. So it doesn't even look like I painted this room at all. It's the weirdest trick of a color.
How wild. But this is such a classic, again, where we say people ask what color something is in the catalog, and you're like, try it. But
It depends on the lighting. It depends on
north, south, east,
It's-
west.
Right.
Let's
summer,
talk about how you tested it. Did you do the whole swatches and the whole doodad?
I did not a huge swatch, but I did a swatch and I put it on every wall.
Mhm.
But I really think that the issue is that I picked the color and I settled on the color when there was no foliage on the trees.
Mhm.
And I thought
So-
about it and I put my whole heart into this color.
Do you so what
So
if you were
confident.
going to do it again? Would you just pick a darker value of the same color, go another shade or two to make the difference more dramatic, or would you just not paint at all?
Okay, so I already picked a new color.
Oh my Lord.
I have to go get the swatches. But I've picked a new color called Sherwin-Williams Retreat, which is the same value as my family room. So it's this it's a medium dark tone, because I really realized I thought that I wanted this tonal value going from room to room. But I think that what I really want is a distinct separation.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I felt like. So Sherwin-Williams Retreat,
Mm-hmm. She's holding
It's
up
very pretty.
paint chips.
I'm holding up the swatch. It's a very pretty, again, it's a gray-green, so it's not going to be...
Can you hold it up again? It looks
sure.
like a gray-green blue in this, but I know. It's like a zillion. I trust you.
Right.
It's pretty.
It's very pretty. It's a darker value. So I'm gonna try and get some larger swatches this time, put them on multiple walls, and just kind of go for it and see what this means, because there's a whole lot of like look through from room to room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's really killing me, because I'll stand in my kitchen and look through the kitchen into the dining room and into the living room, and it all just looks like the same color.
Yeah.
And they're not. And it's such a freak out.
How much light does the dining room get? It sounds like it gets a good amount.
It doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay.
It doesn't. It has eastern facing windows and north facing windows, but the eastern facing windows have a covered porch attached to it. So all of that morning light that would come in is pretty much blocked out. So it's dark.
So are you worried about it being too dark? It's a pretty dark green. No?
I don't think so.
All right.
And I'm still just kind of feeling like, you know what? It's just paint.
Yeah.
The hardest thing
That
about
is
the whole
true.
process,
We preach it.
the hardest thing about the whole process was moving the furniture out of the
100%.
room.
Yeah. It's the biggest headache.
Right. And again, my silver lining with that was, you know what? Okay, I reorganized all of my storage in my dining room. Great. But yeah, I can do it again.
Are you going to have painters come and do it, or are you going to do it yourself this time?
You know what? I think I will have painters come in and do it. It's just so worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I've just kind of hit that point where it's so worth it to have somebody who knows what they're doing and how to tape things off or or hit those edges. And also 2 coats and they're done in in hours versus a weekend or a week or however long it would take.
And oh my God,
me.
the back aches and like your arms. Oh my gosh, I'm always so sore after painting.
I mean, I love doing it, but no.
Yeah.
I think I would hire painters again. But again, I'm probably going to wait a little bit, because until the sting of paying for painters the first time around and getting the color wrong.
But you're up against time, because you're about, you hit fall and then you lose all those leaves again. You're like, actually, this tone's fine.
This tone is fine. I kind of
that is so true.
I kind of am curious to see what it looks like in the fall. So even if I wait, that's totally fine. But yeah, I mean, I think everybody here knows I'm used to living with paint swatches on my walls, at least in some capacity of, just taped up swatches around, and then I take them down when company comes.
Okay. You know what? No, even better. Keep it up so that you can get some opinions.
Get the feedback.
Yeah.
I did. You know what? And I did do that with this color.
It's a fun little conversation starter.
Yeah. In the fall, this color is probably going to look really great.
Yeah.
But right now it bothers.
No. It's just paint, as we say.
Yeah.
It's just paint.
Yeah. That is reminding me that I am hitting 5 years in our house, and I probably do need, it's like time for a repaint. A lot of scuffs on the wall. I feel like it, which is crazy because I'm like, I feel like we just painted. But anyway.
I mean, preach, right?
Yeah.
Like, I already feel like the outside needs to be repainted for me. And I'm like, it is like laughable.
Yeah.
Like, my husband.
Yeah, you're like, I haven't even finished paying for.
Yeah.
Y'all both had, let's see, Liz had all trials. You had mostly triumphs, Taryn. I'm in an in-between, sort of. Okay, or unrelated. So I'll explain. To be honest, I haven't really been doing that much around my house, but I have had a lot of creative projects. And I believe I told y'all about my needle pointing project.
Yes.
At the beginning of this year, whenever the heck that was, because I've been working on it since New Year's. And I finished.
Nuh-uh.
Yes, I finished all 4 of my stockings. So for anyone who's not up to speed, I got a wild hair like 3 days before Christmas and was like, I wonder if I can needle. I saw this TikTok of a woman who cross-stitched stockings for her family, and I've never done any of like the needle arts. Like I've never cross-stitched, never sewed, I've never knitted or anything. But I do have a good friend who has always made needlepoint things for me. She's made me coasters and ornaments and stuff. And I saw this TikTok and I was like, I wonder if I could do that. And went down this whole rabbit hole and talked to my friend who's been needlepointing since high school and decided that I was going to try it. I painted my own stockings or like canvases. So, like you paint the canvas and then it's basically color, like paint by numbers, but with thread. And did Blair's. Blair's looked okay. I kind of upped my game a little bit. Liz talked me through her Apple Pencil. And so I got like an iPad and Apple Pencil, and they have like this needlepointing app where you can like kind of plan your canvas out. So I did that. Second one, Birdie's, looked a lot better. So I did Birdie's. It looked good. It might actually be my favorite. Then I did Will's, then I did mine, and then I had done Birdie's, Will's, and mine all with this app. And it was like I had done sort of a more refined version. And so then I was kind of like, okay, well, I'm kind of unhappy with Blair's. So then I went back and redid
Oh my
Blair's.
gosh. So you did 5.
Like a crazy person. Yeah. So I did 5 stockings, but they're all done. I took them to the finisher. They told me they hoped they would have them back by Christmas. So hopefully I will have my stockings by Christmas.
Wait,
but
you already I have so many more questions with this finisher. Why? Is there not that many finishers?
They just get so much stuff. They have like so much volume.
So should I become a finisher is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing
yes.
We should become
100%.
There's demand there. Okay.
It's funny. We went to Chicago and went to the needlepoint store in Chicago just like for fun. And was talking to them and I was like, yeah, it's crazy. I'm hoping that I'll have it done as soon as possible, so that I'll have them by Christmas, because I'll be so mad if I've done all of this work and I don't even have them for Christmas.
Murder. Yeah.
Anyway, and she basically was like, well, needlepointing has just exploded. So many people are doing it, but we have the same number of finishers. Like a lot more people haven't gone into finishing.
Because that's more sewing. Is that correct?
Yeah. There's more to it. Like it depends on what you're turning it into. Like you could turn it into a pillow or stocking and that's sewing, but some people turn it into like stand-ups. They make ornaments. You have to like add batting, and some people add like cardboard or stuff. Anyway, there are other options.
Like I said, things to learn. Maybe that's.
And some people do their own stuff, but with a stocking, I was like, I want to have it.
I feel like you put all the effort
properly.
into the creative.
I would be in the same boat. No, someone else do this like correct and right.
Yeah, exactly. So that was that's been my creative project, honestly, and taking a lot of my creative, sort of like brain power.
I feel like these
stockings, I'm really happy with it,
are going to be like your whole Christmas will be around. Like if these are on display, I feel like you're going to plan your whole Christmas like decor around it, and I'm excited. No,
they definitely, I think,
fit with your.
Yeah, well, so I did, and we've talked about this on the show before. We've all kind of shared our holiday things, and I'm not really like a red and green Christmas gal. I love like a non-traditional Christmas, and I always feel like if I do wreaths and garland and metallics, and it's going to look festive, and I don't have to have red and green for it to look Christmassy, right? That's sort of been my thing, and so a lot of my Christmas decor is not red and green. And I sort of had that same approach thinking of the canvases. I didn't really want like a Christmas motif on it, not because I didn't like it, but because the ones that I had seen some inspiration where they sort of had like little icons of things that you were interested in. So like Blair's has like a little bee because that's her school mascot. It has a little ballerina. It's got like bunnies, and just it kind of has like cute things that remind me of her, like a little sun hat. And then Bernie loves animals, so it has like sort of an animal theme. Will has like a bike and some topiaries, and so I kind of added things that mine has little Louis chairs on it.
That's sweet.
And like chocolate chip cookies and a KitchenAid mixer. So I kind of pulled like things that represented each person. So they're not like Christmassy at all. And Blair's is pink, Birdie's is purple, Will's is green, mine is like blue. So
I love it.
But again, the stocking is a part of a whole, right? So it's going to have garland and greenery and ornaments and candles and ribbon and stuff. So I just kind of felt like it will feel festive without having, Santa like imagery on it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So are the colors of the finishing, because I'm assuming needlepoint is one side, so there's a color on the back
Yes.
side. And is
Yes.
that
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I'm going to do a red and white ticking on the inside of all of them. So they'll all be lined with a red and white ticking stripe. And then the backs will all be a velvet coordinating to and they'll all be they'll all have like a self welt with the velvet.
amazing?
Nice.
So like Blair has a light pink, Birdie has kind of like a plum, Will has green, and mine has like a teal color.
Amazing.
So yes, it's a velvet backing. So yeah, that's been my thing. And then my next project is for needlepoint. Well, I have a few in between, but we were getting rid of some Louis footstools at our photo studio. So I snatched one of those up for myself, and I'm going to do a big needlepoint canvas and then upholster it onto the top of my footstool. So
amazing.
Nice.
that'll probably be a while before I get to that one, and it'll be like a really big, like it's just a big surface area.
Mm-hmm.
But that's sort of on my list of things to do, which also is going to require me to reupholster, or not require. I've been wanting to reupholster the chair that this footstool will kind of sit in front of. It's like a little antique chair. And it's just worn out. Like it has holes in the seat. And I just have not decided on a fabric for it. And like I'll pick something and then 4 or 5 months later, I'm like, oh, find something else. And so I just like haven't landed on just the right thing yet.
Have you upholstered something like that by yourself? Or are you planning on taking it somewhere?
No, I'm going to have it done.
Okay.
That's one of those things where it's like, there's lots of sewing, there's cording, and I just am not willing to spend the time on it and not do it well. I'd rather like someone do it properly.
No, I totally get it, but it's so inspiring to see people upholster. Like,
oh, yeah.
I don't know about you, but like, okay, this is how geeky I am. Like all of my Instagram feed is pretty much upholsterers.
Really?
Oh,
so
I
funny.
have hit some kind of upholsterer's dream of an algorithm. Yes.
Have you tried it?
No, but my mom has. And so my mom is such a DIYer and like has like, there's no project around the house that she didn't take on when we were kids. And so I always think of it as something like, oh yeah, I could take that on. But really, no.
Have I not told y'all about when I worked in an upholstery shop?
I have vague recollections of this. How?
Yeah, like
I'm not, but
this was probably 2010 maybe. And I was living in Birmingham and I had a remote job, but it wasn't like a full-time thing. And so I just went and found this upholstery. I actually don't know where this instinct came from, but I just was like, I think upholstery is really cool. I'm going to go like find the shop. I found the shop. I walked in and I was like, hey, can I work for y'all for free? And so I used to go there like 3 days a week in the afternoon or something and just like help. And it's hard. Like like physically hard.
yeah.
It is.
Like you've got to pull out all of the nails. Oh my God, I always had like gashes all over my hands from like using the tools. And if you don't have an air compressor, it's really hard. You like you have to have an air compressor to do a good job. Anyway, and so I know kind of what goes into it, and it's not. I wouldn't do it on my own. But it is fascinating. Oh my God. And I loved seeing like they would get really old antique pieces because they had like sort of an antique store and then an upholstery shop. So they would get like old antique pieces with like horsehair, seats and like, oh my God, I loved like you would take off the fabric and see like 5 layers of fabric underneath of like all these old, and you could kind of like,
amazing.
an old silk stripe and then a calico and then a thing, and then it was always really interesting.
That's really neat. It's really neat.
And then just seeing like how things would change depending on what fabric you put on it. Anyway, it's really cool. I need to be on that algorithm, Liz. That sounds fun.
I'll send you some and then
and then I can, it can do
go
its
down
thing.
that rabbit hole.
Anyway, only other thing I really have kind of in the works is I have been wanting to have a day bed made for Birdie. So anyway, years and years ago, we redid her room, and it's very, like, we had to put up a wall. Anyway, we had to do like a little bit of renovation, like light renovation to make her room a real room when I was pregnant, because essentially the laundry room was in her room. Anyway, I won't bore you all with that. But at the time, we kind of knew going into it, okay, a day bed is really the only thing that will work, because it can only fit like really a twin bed up against the wall. And so the time has come for me to finally have that bed made. And I ordered one of our Cotswold collection fabrics, which I'm really excited about. It's called the Kier Capri, and it's sort of this like, what would you call it? Like, it's sort of a organic graphic. I wouldn't call it geometric because
but it does have like
organic.
elongated diamonds, and then it has like a natural kind of floral element in the middle,
almost
and
like
around
an
there.
ikat.
It's really, really lovely.
It's my favorite from that collection, and it's sort of a blue-green color palette. And you might remember that I have this sort of like chinoiserie wallpaper on 3 of the walls. And anyway, so that's what I'm going to have it made, and I'll have it pull-out trundle underneath, because Blair's room becomes our guest room whenever my parents come and stay with us. So she'll be able to sleep in Birdie's room on the trundle when we have guests. So that was sort of the kind of the function behind it. Anyway, so I've been meaning to. I have the bolt of fabric in my house. I just have to actually take it to the guy. Maybe I should do it today, just while I'm thinking about it, and just have it made. But it's just going to have kind of a soft arch on the back wall, kind of like a rounded arm, and so yeah, I'm really excited about that, because I do think it's going to be so nice. She's still in the crib, but like with the third wall down, and it's just nice with young kids to be able to like get in bed and read the books and do the things, and so it'll be a big thing to check off the list once I finally do it. So I'm sure I will have more to share once that's done. Again,
Very
hopefully
fun.
I can have it back ready for Christmas, because my parents will probably come stay with us for Christmas. So that will be the goal. And yeah, I don't know, y'all. I have been planning my trip to Paris, and I'm going to go to Klingencourt. So if anyone has some Paris recommendations, Taryn, I'm going to need to talk to you.
Yeah, we need an actual meeting. Put a meeting on my calendar.
Okay,
I'm not
go
joking.
get lunch or something. Yeah,
or lunch.
Right.
Lunch
Okay.
works. I like lunch
because I need some Klingencourt specifically.
Klingencourt
things, and I also
isn't that big, so you'll be able. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll hit you up. My other Instagram reel algorithm is just traveling to Paris and finding antiquing around Paris. So
okay, wait, didn't you do the sidecar tour in Paris?
I did.
Okay, I've been getting those, and I think I want to do it. And Will, it's just me and Will going. We're not taking the girls.
Okay.
And so he kind of was like, "This looks really goofy," and I was like, "It is kind of goofy, but it looks really fun."
Okay, it is goofy and it is fun, both of it.
Okay.
So for our listeners, this is a tour guide that will drive you around Paris in a motorcycle sidecar. And so there's one person per sidecar, so you'd get 2 motorcycles, 2 drivers. So they drive it, you're in the sidecar. And because we had 3 people, I was on the back of the motorcycle. And then my kid and my husband were in sidecars. And
did you not switch halfway through? You couldn't be like, "Hey, Steve, let me get in there."
no, little known fact, I actually have my motorcycle license.
Oh.
And so it was very
Did
comfortable
not
for me.
know that.
Okay, all right.
Fun fact.
Nice.
Fun fact. Yeah, I really only drive scooters, but yeah. And the woman who authorized me to get my motorcycle license was like, okay, this scooter, don't go anything bigger than that. Great, thanks.
You barely passed is what
But I
she's saying.
do know the rules of the road and I am comfortable on it. But yeah, I mean, there's just something so, like, we were just laughing hysterically because we're like on motorcycles driving around the Champs-Élysées. And like, it was just, and then they stopped and we did a nighttime tour. And so they stopped on a side of the Eiffel Tower where there was no traffic. And then we all got off and rearranged and took like family photos. And it's my favorite family photo of all time.
Oh,
and
amazing.
Yeah.
It just sounds like fun. And when we went for our honeymoon, we rented bikes, which is normally one of my favorite things to do because you can cover a lot of ground. You can see everything.
Paris
right?
traffic, though, is bonkers.
Yes, you are correct. And the bus lane is also the bike lane. And so the whole time I was like, I'm going to get hit by a bus today.
Yeah.
And so that was why I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I was thinking like, okay, the sidecar would be sort of like the same experience of biking around town, but without the danger and passing that responsibility on to someone else instead of,
I mean, it still feels really crazy because you are in the middle of Paris traffic, which is just beyond me on how it moves and flows. But so there is that kind of danger element that is there, but like you have guides that are looking out for you.
They have to look for merging buses and not you.
They're responsible. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry. I really don't have that many house updates, but a lot in the works. So maybe more to report next time.
Fantastic.
And send me your Paris updates if you have any good ones. So
awesome.
That's all.
Well, it's so great to catch up with you guys.
I know. It's been too long. I mean, we obviously see each other, but like it's been too long since we've had a Trials and Triumphs. Yeah. All right. Well, guys, thanks for joining us, and hopefully we won't leave you without one for a while. But we have to do things in order to be able to talk about them. So we can't do them too often. All right.
Awesome.
That's our show. And that's our show. You can find all of the show notes on our blog, howtodecorate.com/podcast.
To send in a decorating dilemma, email your questions to podcast@ballarddesigns.net so we can help you with your space.
And of course, be sure to follow us on social media at Ballard Designs.
Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. And please leave us a review. We'd love to hear your feedback.
Until next time, happy decorating.